Welcome back to the Day After Saturday. I'm one of your hosts, Jackson.
I'm Krish.
We have a very special guest here with us today. Now becoming a friend, man. I really appreciate you for being here.
Yeah, man, little bro, you out here.
I appreciate that. He's an Emmy Award winner for "Won't You Be My Neighbor" remake, the rap song for Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, the legendary Fred Rogers. He's a Recording Academy member. He's the governor of the board, the Philadelphia chapter for the Grammys, man.
Whew. He's working, man.
He's his own musician, man. He's just one hell of a guy. Can't appreciate him more. Guinness World Record too.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about that.
Gotta talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. Yeah, man. Yeah, we got a good question about that. But Mr. Frzy, Frizzy, really appreciate you, man.
Hey, appreciate
being here.
This is dope campus, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's
nice.
All green, baby.
It's all green.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like it's giving like sexy Robin Hood. You know what I mean? I'm out here ready to save somebody or rob somebody. I don't know.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate it.
And like I always said, best place to start is the beginning. So let's talk a little bit about how you got into music, how you got the name Frizzy, because that's super cool.
Oh, man.
Super distinct.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, that's a good question, man. I always say I started in music accidentally on purpose, right? And because it never was really my intention. You know, my intention was to play ball, play college ball, then go pro. We used to just freestyle at the lunch table for fun. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Used a quarter for the beat. And my friend signed me up for this like the Boys and Girls Club of America was doing this compilation CD for like the whole nation. And they were doing like auditions at different schools. And my friend signed me up for fun, just like to catch me off guard while we in there.
Right.
And they called my name. At the time I had no rap name. You know, everybody just knew me as Harvey. At the time they were calling me KB. That was like my basketball nickname. So I went up there and they were like, yo, what are you going to rap? And I was like, I'm going to rap about y'all. But the judges, and they were like, oh, that's great. Like, what's your rap name? And I didn't have a rap name. So I was like, it's Freestyle. And they let me do it, and I rapped about the judges, and I ended up winning, which was crazy because I was excited about it, but also I felt bad for everybody who was in there auditioning like this was their life. You know what I mean? Like, they needed this moment. And I just, like, took it from them.
It's too natural, man.
Yeah, I just, like, made eye contact and took it, you know? But winning the contest allowed me to work with an amazing producer named John Gore, who at the time was Christina Aguilera's producer. She's from Pittsburgh as well.
My grandpa Walt, he was mentor for Christina Aguilera too.
He was.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So we was always around.
Yeah, we was always
I mean?
around.
I don't think you existed yet, but you was about to. You know what I mean?
I was coming.
Or you was no, because we ain't that much. I'm not that much older than you. So you was here. I just think like I was in school. You was just like eating crayons probably, but it worked out. You know what I mean? It worked out. You weren't colorful. You know what I mean? You weren't colorful. My God. Bars. But then that led me down a road, and I got a demo deal with Sony in New York. And from there, just like they were like, yo, you could be one of the best to ever do it. You just got to hone it in. And because at the time, all I knew how to do was freestyle. I didn't know how to write songs. And so they helped me, structure that together. And, next thing you know, I was writing songs for Warner Brothers. I was writing songs for Pussycat Dolls and Justin Timberlake and a lot of big names and making a name for myself in the industry. And now I'm one of the best, if not the best, to ever do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes,
I've seen like some clips and it seems just so natural. Like,
that's what
so
we're gonna
quick,
talk about,
like,
man. Yeah.
fire.
So,
Thank you,
dude, I on the PBJ podcast, man. Obviously, you took me by storm, man, with the but it was really cool. It was really cool to hear about the science and the natural ability. And can you talk a little bit about that UPMC trip where they studied your brain, man, and just that entire thing and how you're so naturally talented at freestyle? Like,
well, we just did shout out to TED. I just did a TED talk.
Right.
They just had me do a TED talk about my ability to do that, my superpower.
Superpower for real.
Right, and how my brain works.
Yeah.
And it's really been a blessing. I think I learned, shout out to the BAM lab at Pitt and UPMC, Dr. PhD Kim Young. She's one of the biggest neuroscientists in the world. And she studied my brain, and they put me in the MRI machine. They had me, my assistant.
They had you strapped up, bro.
Yeah, they had me strapped up, man. And I had like a lot of hair, so they had me with like the little head cap on. So I felt like I was like literally becoming Captain America. But they gave me words to just freestyle about and to see how fast my brain reacted to it. And they were able to like read my cortex and to see how it works. And what they found out was that not only do I not have the delay that most human beings, that almost all human beings have, but that my body goes into rest mode when I freestyle. So my brain and my body work as two separate entities, but collectively. So it allows me my body takes it as pleasure. So my brain is able to work like a file cabinet while my body is still reacting to what's going on in the room.
Right.
So I'm doing multiple things at one time. So, and then also because of a lot of the trainings that I've had, when I walk in a room, I read things, I assess things, I remember things so that I can use those in the future. And they were able to study my brain about it. And I'm blessed that I got asked to do a TED Talk, TEDx, and we were able to break that down and talk about what it means to not only do what I do and how I do it, but to try to teach others to start to capture the things around them and try to remember it. And I have a great memory. I don't really forget anything.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Before we get into this keyword stuff, I also had the pleasure of learning about how your type of freestyling is distinct, and talking about how people are able to talk, but you're able to really rap.
Yes.
So,
oh my gosh. Yes. Well, I think it's interesting too, right? Because we're in this battle rap era right now, which is great. I love it. But I think a lot of people, because they can't really do it to the full capacity, a lot of the fans don't really understand how it works. So for a lot of them, they just let people get away with saying whatever, doing whatever. And then a lot of times when a lot of these rappers prepare, which is fine, like it's dope to prepare, but they don't tell people they're preparing. So a lot of people just think that, that's a freestyle.
It's raw, right.
And now you see that everywhere, where you see like somebody on TikTok doing a verse, or I think every rapper on TikTok is now rapping in the middle of a street with a mic that just hangs from heaven, right? That's like what they do, which is great. I mean, if you want to be in that space and you see that that's what's popping, then do what you got to do. But I know for me myself, I like to do things. I'm a leader, so it hurts. It hurts my body to follow.
Facts.
So
I feel the same way, dog.
I don't like looking at the back of people's heads.
Yeah.
So, when it comes time to really stand out and really be an artist and really not only teach people but enjoy it at the same time and make them go home and think about it later, like, oh, he said da 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 da. Like when you were breaking it down on the other podcast, it was really cool to see y'all like really like, oh yeah, there's the globe, and
right. Yes, man, that was
awesome.
awesome.
The globe was exactly
that
what
was awesome.
It was in the room, and da 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 da.
Right.
And it just makes it a lot of fun. It just makes it a lot of fun. Attention to detail is great.
Yeah. All right. Maybe a couple keywords. Maybe.
Oh yeah,
we could try a couple. Yeah, since we're in Philly now, this ain't Pittsburgh, sadly. But since we're in Philly now.
Yeah.
And still, how we always fuck with the movies, man. So
That's true.
We're gonna start with Rocky.
Oh, I knew you was gonna do it.
I know that was.
We were gonna try to go to the Rocky Steps too. So I wanted to do.
Yeah, I was there the other day.
Yeah,
just to chill.
I've been there a few times, but I wanted to do like a funny video that we used 2 bids to do that. That's a lot of steps.
Yeah, man.
By the way, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right, but okay, Rocky, right?
Right.
So I go. I wanted to go to the Rocky Steps, but they made me wait. It's a lot of steps. Kind of feels like I'm baking a cake. But I had to go see the statue. Yeah. I'm a really big fan. I glow like Apollo, so I had to beat up that white man. You know what I mean? So it's good to have these boxing gloves. When he's swinging, they made him. I never steal his girl because I don't think I could scream Adrian. But no matter what, it's I get peace. I give a dove. I just got to represent for the city of brotherly love.
Oh, my God.
All right.
That's crazy.
I'm happy y'all saw that in the back. That's really cool. That's dope.
All right. Give me another one. What you got?
Derek, you got one?
It don't got to be a movie, right?
No.
No.
A movie.
Okay. Platypus.
Oh, there it is. Okay. He said platypus. That's something y'all heard. As soon as he said that, it made me think about Phineas and Ferb.
Oh my God.
Told you, bro.
But that's cool. He's really good at it. You can tell he got skill. They call me a platypus because, dog, I stay with a flat bill. But it's all good and all great. You can see what I mean. Platypus is like a duck and a fish or something kind of in between. But no matter what, they can see how I go. Platypus was a good one. I had to kill that shit with the flow. Can I cuss?
Yeah, you can cuss.
Great.
Fuck.
That opens things up.
All right, now.
Also a nerd.
I'm just happy. I'm happy we got that in.
Okay,
That's awesome.
Now he gotta make me watch Phineas and Ferb when I get home.
Man.
I watched the clip on PBJ. But seeing it in person is like crazy.
I told him.
I thought like surely he like edited a little bit.
Yeah,
no. That's
like,
straight from the dome, man. Straight from the dome.
It, man.
Last one.
Yeah, give me one.
All right, just Fresh Prince. I know it's Bel Air, but he's from West Philly, so
that is true.
That's my show growing up. We talked about that. That was my show growing up.
Did.
Yep.
Okay. Fresh Prince of Bel Air. That was my song. The beat had a funk. Did you know that at the court they lowered the rims so he could dunk?
Yeah.
Right? Did you know? You knew that?
I did know that.
Oh, you did? Oh.
Yeah, come on. I was on IDMB looking up all the facts. They got the fun facts part.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I got to talk. I should have been rapping. I'm here to talk because I don't want you to slap me on the podcast like I'm Chris Rock. But we can jump. We can do it. We can swim like some tanks, or you can give me money and treat me like a Banks.
I knew it. Right.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you like think of like Chris Rock before you started that whole bar? Or
He
was
got
like
that
while
shit
you're-
stored, bro.
So what do
I didn't tell him any of this shit. I promise.
I know.
So my brain is like it's like a memory bank, right? So for instance, as soon as he said platypus, it went. I had to try to think like, okay. Initially, it goes platypus. I look at him. I go, he got to be between like 20 and 25, right? So at that point, I'm like, okay, he got to be between 20 and 25. Phineas and Ferb really kind of dropped.
Yeah.
Right around like 2006, 2007, which means it was something.
Everyone even knows Phineas
which
and
means
Ferb,
it's
right?
something he grew up watching,
Right.
Because he's dope like that. So which means that he understands that show. It's a funny
Yeah.
show too, right?
Yep.
You guys are here, which is a smart college, which means he probably relates more to Phineas than he does to Ferb. So at that point, then I'm like, okay, so he'll recognize it, especially now. If he recognizes it and he smiles, then that means he understands exactly what I'm saying. So I'll go to that. Now, also knowing that Jackson here not only knows his pop culture, but he has family in LA, which means, and he's here in Philly. There's no way he's not associated with Fresh Prince.
Yes.
At all, right? Also, he's light skinned, has the same haircut as Fresh Prince as well. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
psychic in it too.
right.
Nah,
So then,
no.
as you think about it, I could say a whole bunch of things about Will Smith. I could say a whole bunch of things about the show. But as soon as he
Fucking
said
awesome,
Fresh
man.
Prince, I guarantee the listeners thought about Chris Rock because it's the most recent thing
Yeah.
that happened. So that's something that I know I can say that everybody will agree to. And can get it distinctly like that. And then, of course, the Banks is there is cool. And then starting
the
it off with
Banks.
a fun fact that some people might not listen because your listeners aren't only in Philadelphia.
Right.
So now I could have, when he initially said it, I thought about doing it in the same rhyme pattern as
right.
a show.
Right.
In West Philadelphia, I ain't have no fear. He told me to rap about Fresh Prince, so I had big ears, right? So I can do all that fun and keep it in that pattern because I know people will get that.
Big
but
ears
I
is a reference to his ears.
Yes, but I wanted to make sure that I said something that was distinct. Now we're
Yeah,
talking,
yeah,
laughing, and it goes,
Yep.
it cuts in between. But yeah, it's really
The skills to know the specifics like that.
yeah,
Like you
and
know
it's-
the specifics.
and it's
that
also
fucking
fun
quick.
to like think about the thing you'll say last. That's what I love
Right.
to do. So that's kind of I always feel like I tell Antis, I always feel like my brain is in two different. My body and my brain literally are two different entities. Because I'll go,
right.
my brain will go do. Platypus, Phineas, and Ferb.
Yeah.
Right. So then I'll lock that in, and now all I got to do is figure out how I want to rhyme that. And now because I don't have that 2-second delay, I can figure that out while you're still saying the sentence.
Right.
Or he'll say Phineas and Ferb, and then somebody will laugh, and he turned to his left and looked at his boy. In that moment, he turned to the left. I wrote the whole 2 bars. So by the time he turns back, it seems like, I am coming up with it super quick, but at that in those 2 seconds, I already wrote the whole thing. Right. So I'm just really reading off a paper in my head. So me freestyling is really my sole writing for me.
Right.
At that point, and it's also like it's fun because I don't know what any of you guys are going to say, and it becomes this like game of information, and it becomes really really fun. And then at that point, I can go, and then I hold it and I do it. So now I know like if I was sending everybody gifts, I'd probably send him something from Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network. You know what I mean? That would be really good. Yeah. So or
were you like starting when the mic dropped and figuring out how to get there?
Yeah, exactly. It is really right. It's like it's about anticipating. It sounds really weird to say it that way, but it's really like anticipating gravity. Yeah. I know that no matter what, it's gonna fall.
Right.
Gravity
That's
exists no matter
dope.
what. So
We
now
have
I
like
gotta-
five bars already out of these quotes. So
Oh,
you got quotes. You're just racking quotes.
Yeah, it's also about trusting yourself as an artist. And same with the people that play guitar, people that play any instrument. It's not about just being a good rapper. I think that's what a lot of rappers do, or a lot of artists do. They just like, I'm a good rapper, I'm a good singer. But for me, I'm a great rapper, but also like I'm really good at information and I'm really good at words.
For sure.
So even if somebody told me for the rest of my life I couldn't rhyme anything, I still am good with words.
Yeah, right.
Know something about,
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
funny
You then
words.
at that point you still know something about everything.
Right.
And that's the fun part. Because all you really need is one thing to relate to somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it. Yeah.
For sure.
Awesome.
Freestyle.
All right, yeah, let's get into the 31-hour.
Oh
freestyle.
yeah, man.
A little story time.
Little
story time.
Little story time.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
we've seen the clips, we've seen the record.
Yes, sir.
How did that what was that like?
Man.
What was the experience?
It was a really cool moment because making the decision to do it was kind of crazy because it was to celebrate my day. Pittsburgh named the day after me, so I had my own holiday in the city. I had Frizzy Day in the city, Every January
Every
11th, forever, they celebrate me. And every year we do something big. And that was right after I won the Emmy. I'm the third rapper in history to ever win an Emmy. So it was myself, Childish Gambino.
Shout out Pittsburgh.
Shout out, man. You know what I mean? Myself, Childish Gambino, Common. And I was like, I wanted to do something for one. I'm addicted to the impossible. So when somebody say like, oh, you can't do something, that makes my butt cheeks tight. You know what I mean? I get excited. I'm like, who said I can't do it? You can't do it. But I'm going to show you how to do it just to make it clear that you're not me.
Right,
know?
right.
But it was crazy to think about it too, because the rules there, people don't notice. Guinness has like really weird rules, very strict, but really weird. And you have to submit like to do it months in advance. They got to clear you to do it. You just can't like do it. And but they had weird rules that I felt like were cheating. They had rules like you could read a book rhythmically. You
I told you.
Perform your own songs.
Because we were looking at other people that were like, yeah, we got the record, and they like aren't even. They're just like,
reading from a book.
they're like just talking. They're not even saying anything.
And then a lot of them are like just sing their own songs. And then especially there was somebody who like attempted it right after me and during COVID, and they changed the rules for COVID. And then there's actually recently like a person in Pittsburgh that tried it again.
Really?
Yeah, which was hilarious. And then of course everybody was calling me like, but once again, he freestyled, but then he did some of the other rules, right? And to me, that's just it's cheap.
That's what's the distinct part. I mean, you're like, you're sitting there like,
I'll be rapping for that many hours, but I'm freestyling the whole time.
I like how you hold yourself to your own moral with that. You're like, I'm gonna stay rapping. Like y'all can talk and bullshit. Like,
I'm a Batman fan, dog. I can't kill. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Batman be wanting to kill people, but you can't do it.
Quote number like 5 or 6.
Yeah, right.
Good job. Good job.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so the rules were crazy. Ange was there. I mean, it was nuts, and you couldn't stop for 5 seconds. You had to like, if you
stop for 5 seconds, it's over. Yeah.
You got a bathroom break. You had to accumulate time for a bathroom break. So I'll have to rap for like 7 hours straight, and I get like a 5-minute bathroom break. And at one point in time, Ange will tell you this was middle of the night.
It's a tater tot story.
And it killed me. Like I had to go to the bathroom, and I had like 3 hours before my next break. And I was crying. I was laughing with tears in my eyes. They kept them all open, so they came out. But it's really, I think that was the thing about it, is thinking to yourself, I'm going to be the only human being ever exists that has ever rapped or talked for 31 hours straight.
Yeah.
And that was why the hospital was there, because it was like, no human being in medical history has ever done this before. You could never talk again, dog. You don't know what's going on. Like,
yeah, for real.
It's worth it, because if I lose my voice and they're like, he lost his voice rapping for 31 hours.
You lost it in the best way possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Take
right. Real shit. Real shit.
It's kind of like saving somebody from a burning building. You die, but they live. Tell my story. You know what I mean?
That's crazy to put that in perspective. Like 7 billion people, you're the only one who's ever done that.
Right, and I don't think it really hit me until I was done. You know, we won the record, and the confetti goes up, everybody's screaming, and I'm used to doing things, you know, Pittsburgh nationally.
Right.
So when we started getting calls from like Good Morning Britain and Dubai was doing stories, and there was like, all these people talking, I was like trending on Twitter in different languages, and at that point I got home and I was like, oh wow, like this is.
You did that shit.
It hit you.
Yeah, right.
And then also like it's just a level of respect, but it also changed my perspective on time.
Right.
I don't see time the same as I used to see it, which is very interesting. And also, I can't like ever really make any excuses for being impatient. I'm like, oh, I want to do it, and they're like, "No, you rap for 31 hours. You're good."
Yeah,
you can wait a second. Like, damn, you right. You Google that. But it is something that stays with you forever, and these are the type of things that I've been trying to teach a lot of artists to do to create foundation in your career. Those are the type of things that no one can take that away from you.
I'm glad you're talking about the international respect you got too. That's really cool. That's really cool to hear about.
It's a big thing, man. You know.
I mean, so like a record like that obviously opens tons of doors. So
man.
I mean, we wanted to talk.
Key, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So we want to talk a little bit about like how you got into the recording academy and how that came to be.
That's a dope story.
That's why you're here right now, man.
That's a dope story. Yeah, man.
Along with that, and
it's it's really dope. It's funny. Let me try and think about how I want to tell you the story. You know what? I'm gonna tell you the version. I've only said it a couple times in some schools I've spoken at, but I'll do like a quicker version of it. But I met with this publishing company a couple years ago, and they're one of the really big ones, because I'm with BMI, and at the time this I won't say their name just in case I work with them in the future. But at the time I go meet with them, and they're such a big publishing company, they have to invite you in. You can't just like sign up like ask how to be in there. So I went there to them, and I had a meeting in New York. The meeting was great. Everybody was good, and the person that I was meeting with was in the recording academy. I had never even heard of the recording academy, and they were like, "I'm surprised you're not." Everybody talking Grammy talk about you in the academy, and I was like, "High school? What are you talking about?" You know? And she was like, "No, like I'm a member of the New York chapter. Like I got you." And she was like, "You need recommendations to get in. You can't just." And I'm like, "Okay, great. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Like you need my recommendations." So now I'm hyped. I'm on my way home. I'm Googling it. You know what I mean? I'm like, super excited about what's to come. I get back to Pittsburgh. I'm talking. We were texting back and forth for a little bit. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, like, what do you need from me as far as the crickets? She kind of like ghosted me, but she was still liking stuff on Instagram, which was weird. So I'm like, oh, maybe she like got in a car accident or something. You know what I mean? Maybe she locked the keys out the house, whatever. Like, but like for like a couple weeks, I'm hitting her. Hey, I would like, and then she just like wasn't responding.
Right.
And it was a weird moment, man. It was humbling because I was like, oh wow, like she doesn't care. And at that point, I didn't know anyone else in the recording academy because I didn't even know it existed. Yeah. So I didn't even know where to start. But I found out that you needed 2 recommendations. You can get recommendations outside of those 2, but like, and then it's all about your credits and credentials. Now, pause there, right? A couple months back, there's this amazing singer. His name is Steve. He's with this group called Damage Pass. They're an amazing folk bluegrass type band. Mm-hmm. And they're from Pittsburgh, and they work with a company called Why Hunger, which is, I'm a Why Hunger artist along with Bruce Springsteen, Yoko Ono, Carlos Santana. We're all part of this group that really helps to feed, to make sure that the world doesn't go hungry, to help feed. And he wanted to do this song for Why Hunger. He had been asking me for months, and I wanted to do it. I was just so busy, I hadn't had a chance to do it. And I was also like, man, this is folk music. Like, Steve is dope, but like, I got to figure out how to rap on this.
Right.
Ain't no drums. It's weird. So finally, I come back, and my engineer Matt, who you met, was like, "Yo, Steve's like, we need to do this record." And I was like, at the time, like I'm in a pissy, I'm in a shitty mood,
right?
Because he's not calling me back. So I get back, get to the studio. Steve is there, always just a great guy, super nice. He, gives me a hug. He's like, "It's all good." So I start writing the verse while I'm in there, and like I'm just complaining to Matt about what happened with the woman. And
right.
Like, I just don't understand. Like, you don't want to do it. You don't want to help me. Just don't help me.
Yeah.
Like, just don't ghost me, though.
At least let you know.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, don't lick the letter, don't lick the envelope, then not mail it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What you got me wet for? So, while I'm in the studio, I'm doing it, and then Steve is like, mind you, like, Steve is like 50-something, 50 plus.
Right.
He's like, Frizz, what's wrong? I'm like, man, I, blah, 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 I told him the story. And he goes, oh, I'll be your recommendation. I was like, you say about my mom, what? He was like, hey, I'll be your recommendation. Like, I'm in the academy. And I was like,
oh, shit.
The odds are crazy. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, I got you. I'll set it up. So then he was my first recommendation. And it goes to show you that you never know.
Right.
You never know who's who. Don't let the glitz and the glam, and we were talking about Instagram, the Instagram numbers, don't let none of that fool you, right? Because
right.
We met with the head of Nickelodeon, and he has, no one even noticed on Instagram, he has like 200 followers. It's the head of Nickelodeon. So, like, the people who are really making power moves don't have time to be on social media.
Right.
So, I'm thinking, because I'm in New York at this big building with these big people, there's Beyonce plaques on the wall, like, this is my end. When I was a folk singer in a local band who was part of the academy who helped put me there. And then he was my first recommendation. And then I didn't know that you only needed 2. So I went, I'm an overachiever. I went and I got a recommendation from like every chapter. And then I got Smokey Robinson to write me a recommendation letter as well.
Gramps.
And then that year he was winning a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It was just like.
Oh, like 2019, right?
Yeah. So I was
right.
just like, at that point I was just being an asshole. I was just flexing. I was about to do, I had just got done doing a show with Warner Brothers. And the president of Warner Country was also in the academy in LA, and then he wrote me a recommendation. I just was like, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah. You're
no.
not gonna tell me no, exactly.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
So I just shoved myself down their throats until they sounded like me. You know what I'm saying? And then at that point, I got in, and my first year, like within the first 2 months, I got asked to be an advisor on the board.
Yep.
Which was amazing. And another guy, Mark Schwartz, who's from Philadelphia, he really helped hold my hand in the process.
Right.
Helped me really becoming, at the time he was the executive director of the academy, and really just helped hold my hand and taught me everything that I needed to know about what it takes. And to this day, me and him are still friends. I was at lunch with him
right
last week when I was here for America 250. So
That's so cool, man.
Yeah, man.
Again,
So
that's
it's
just awesome.
great, man. It was a great journey, but that's how I got in there. Now I'm on a board. Now I'm a governor, and Grammy.com. All that good
Yeah,
stuff.
man. Yeah, so
Awesome.
shout out Pop Up first of all.
Shout out, man.
Yeah, yeah. So right after this, you said you're headed to a meeting, right?
Yeah, like a get together with everybody.
Yeah, right. So usually when you have these board meetings and like things along those lines, like can you maybe give us a little in on what you guys are talking about, or is it closed off to the public? Okay, yeah. I know. Yeah. Don't get in trouble. Don't get in trouble. I am a part of it. Yeah. I know. I gotta know.
No, really, just I think a lot of people don't really understand how much work goes into the Grammys.
Right.
And that it's the people that are voting or your peers, and how serious it is, and how much integrity and respect goes into it. Discussing not only that, but it's not just about the Grammy show in general, because the Academy does a lot. They have a lot of advocacy. We're doing advocacy next week, actually, October 1st.
Okay.
Doing advocacy to talk to Congress, your congressmen and congresswomen about the different music laws, the rap program, different copyright laws that we're trying to get passed. We have Music Cares, which we're in the meeting talking about, which is an amazing charity organization that gets money to any musician that maybe happens to lose their house in a fire, or So in these meetings, we're discussing not only a lot of that, but a lot of the programs that are going into with songwriters and composers, and also what we can put into the community and what we can give to the music community even more. So there's a lot of in betweens on it, and talking to our trustees, and it's a lot of fun. I'm learning a lot. I've learned a lot. I'm still learning a lot. I'm trying my best to be a big contributor to the Academy as much as possible.
Giving you your props, man. We talked about this last time about your work in philanthropy, man, and just the shit you've been doing, man. So again, you're talking about it a lot today. So we really, obviously, other people who we're in better positions. God bless us.
God bless, yeah.
So
Yeah. But not everybody is.
No, I know. So that's what I'm saying. So I gotta make sure I show my appreciation for what you do. What's your number at now, man? Because last time we talked, it was like a million.
It was over a million, yeah.
So
gotta be close to either like a quarter.
Yeah, like you get it's crazy, man, that you're getting these numbers up. Yeah.
We gotta be like close to 1.5.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
We're doing some new stuff coming up in the city by the end of this year that are raising stuff. We'll be doing some backpack stuff for Christmas as well for the kids. And that's what it is. Like I said, I'm a nerd, man. I told you before.
Man.
Great
that's
responsibility.
dope.
So I'm gonna shout out to Uncle Ben. Gone too soon. You know what I mean? R.I.P. To the old Dr. Ben. I mean,
old boy from Tobey Maguire. Yeah, right.
Like, why you let him cross the street by himself? You saw how old he was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Also, I still don't know what the mugger did to him, because he didn't shoot him.
Yeah, they didn't shoot him. Yeah,
he
just
was on the ground when he got
maybe
out
stabbed him.
Tripped him, maybe. Yeah.
Die off a trip.
Yeah, he should have worn those beige pants. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so
man.
This is all about giving back and that responsibility. I want to be an artist that inspires people, and I want to feel that energy while I'm here. I don't want to wait till like I die, and then everybody's like, "Yo,
facts."
It's like,
right.
I want to hear it. Why can't I hear it?
Right.
I'm trying to have people put me on a t-shirt.
Right. Now, last time, another thing we talked about was the idea of music excellence and how that goes into the voting for the Grammys. We were talking about, man, it's not about the most clicks, it's not about the most views, but about the excellence of the song, the excellence of the project. And I want to expand on that this time to ask you personally what your thoughts on music excellence and what music excellence is to you.
That's a great question, Jay. Okay.
I'm blushing.
I'm hard-headed, dog. Like it take a lot to impress me, because I've seen so many people cut corners.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like for me, it's funny you asked that, 'cause I was just talking to somebody about this, because I really wish I could sing. I can't sing it. I'm terrible. I mean, in the kitchen, I'm some socks on. I sound like Usher. You know what I mean? I could dance like Michael Jackson with socks on. The socks with the toes.
Can't we all, man?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For real. You gotta have the right kitchen floor though. Some people have fake wood. It's hard to you cut your foot. But to me, music excellence is taking your legacy seriously.
Yeah.
Right, and understanding that one of the big things I always talk about is that a new era is born every day.
Right.
So because a new era is born every day, no matter how famous I get, there's always somebody. It's always going to be somebody's first time hearing me.
Right.
So every single record I put out is the first time somebody's hearing me, no matter what. One of my favorite clips is, I don't know if anybody's seen this. There's a Jay-Z documentary about when he did a show at the Barclays Center when it first opened, he did like I think he did 7 nights in a row or something like that.
Right, you're saying you watched that.
Right,
Right,
there's
right.
a scene where he's on a subway, and of course everybody's going crazy. Security's all around them. They're all just trying to get next to Jay-Z. And
Right.
he sits down next to this old lady, and she has no idea who he is. She's like, "Oh, you must be popular." He's like, "Yeah, I do music." Oh, well, good job. Maybe it'll work out for you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, right.
But it just goes to show you that no matter how big you are, there's always somebody who's never heard of you. There's always somebody who wants you to prove themselves, you know? But you got to get to a point where you hold yourself to that same standard. I'm always my worst critic, but I'm also my number one fan. And you got to know when to distinct that and not let the clicks and the views and all that stuff get your head too big.
Right.
Because there's a lot of singers on TikTok right now that are amazing, but they're famous for singing covers.
Right.
And they're not worried about, you know.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah. So a little bit is about the creative process.
Yes.
And actually having your own authentic projects, and then also having like some humility in terms of like what you're doing and right.
And why not? Why would you not? If you have the ability to create, why would you not want to?
Right.
Right. Like if you have, it's kind of like being like, I'm super rich, but I borrow everything. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the point, dog.
Right.
You know what I mean, you're just gonna give it back to me anyway, you know. Or like these guys is like, oh, I'm about to rent this Ferrari and go to the club. These girls gonna be on me. And let's say at work, let's say you rent a Ferrari, you go to girls like, this your car? You like, yeah. If you do your job right, she gonna want to be in a relationship. Eventually, she gonna learn that you don't have a Ferrari. Dog.
Yeah.
What's the plan? Dog, you know what I mean? You think it's gonna be good enough? You
Rent it every day. Like,
you know what I mean? You got Ferrari gas money every day.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
You
Yeah.
pick her up in that Honda Civic.
Yeah. All right. Well, we about to just wrap this thing up, but we got a couple fun questions about attending the Grammys.
Ooh, okay.
So we can kind of go back and forth. I'm gonna give you the phone, but first question I'm gonna ask is, throughout Grammy week, you know, what's the most fun aspect of it? And we were talking about the parties, but maybe it's the actual Grammys itself. Like, what do you think's the most fun part? You got it.
I think it is. I think the most fun part is like actually. I mean, the award ceremony is awesome. Obviously, you want to win one, but I think the red carpet, like being there in person and having like paparazzi taking pictures of you.
Yeah.
Fans being excited about who you are and that you're there, and it's one of those things where like even if somebody doesn't know who you are as an artist, they like can look at you and be like, oh, that's
someone.
That's somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, can I get a selfie? Can I get a picture? So I think, and also you get a chance to be a fan too. Because I've met a lot of artists that I'm a fan of that knew who I was, and I didn't think that they knew who I was, you know?
Yep.
So it's really a fun night to just get to get to know the people who inspired you, but also be around the ones who you inspire.
That's perfect into the follow-up question.
Perfectly. Yeah, obviously, like on the red carpet, I'm assuming you talk to all sorts of cool people.
Absolutely.
Cool people
All
get
at
to
the
talk to
parties
you.
too.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's the best piece of advice you've received from someone, and also the best you've given?
Oh, that's a great question. Wow, that's a really great question, dog. Okay, I'm gonna say the best advice I've been given. Actually, I would say is probably from my dad, right? And
Okay.
He said to me when I was younger, he always used to say to me, "You gotta be smarter than a doorknob." And it really stuck with me when it came to like, you know, it's all about opening doors for yourself.
Right.
And they make a million different doorknobs, but once you learn how to open a door, you learn how to open the door. So you always got to be smarter than the doorknob. That was something that was amazing. And I think the best advice I've given somebody, I give a lot of advice.
Maybe you can stick to being on the carpet, like, or not on the carpet, but in the Grammy week, like someone. Someone else, right?
One of the big advices I would tell them is one of the best things I've said, especially during. I think I actually said this on the carpet. I said, don't it make you? We was on the red carpet, and I was like, you're on the red carpet now, but don't forget about how horrible it feels.
Yeah, you gotta stay humble, right?
Just stay humble.
Right.
It was one of those things where like, don't let this carpet.
Look at all these metaphors, man. Yeah.
Because that's what it's like. Because a lot of us grew up in the projects. A lot of us grew up in a space that we didn't have carpet.
Yeah.
In the whole house.
Then all of a sudden you forget about it.
Like, right, because the carpet's red. Don't get it confused.
Right.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well,
Like
now next question: what musician or person during Grammy week have you met that had your heart pounding out of your chest the most?
Oh, that's great. I gotta make sure I answer this politically correct.
Everyone did.
Everyone did.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're not undermining anyone.
Yeah,
I promise.
No, it's not even that. I just
Yeah.
want to make sure I answer it the right.
Right. I got you.
Context.
I got you.
was a fan because of their music, not because of like
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What's-
Because
Gotta guess.
Google searches. Yeah, not Google images or nothing. But let me
Beyonce.
see. Yeah, right. No, I would say, to be honest with you, it's not even a musician. She is a musician. Let me make sure I say it right. She is a musician, but I didn't know she was a musician. I was already a big fan. Is Kat Graham, who is an actress from Vampire Diaries.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day.
Oh, yeah, yeah, right, right.
Vampire Diaries religiously.
Yep.
And like I was a fan of hers just off the show because she's super dope and she's a great actress. And then I found out that she was in the Academy in LA. Like I saw her, like,
dope.
oh, yo, you an actress? What do you? No, you sing? Oh, you sing? And had to keep it smooth. You know what I mean? Like had to keep it pimping. And I was like, oh, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you ever need me advice for anything, like your voice started getting high as you're talking and shit.
Yeah,
I started off sounding like Barry White, and then ended it with a full Mickey Mouse. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you need. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you need. So yeah, that was something that was just like it was not only is she's smart, talented, and beautiful, but it was something that made me like stop and be like, oh, this is young me's meeting the person that I was watching on TV.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
and she knew who I was, which was crazy to me. I'm like, yo, that's wild. That's crazy. And then also Sierra, I think meeting Sierra was really cool. Now she's in
Pittsburgh.
which is
Russell.
with Russell. Who hasn't played yet, but it's okay. We ain't gonna talk about that.
We're still 3-0.
We still 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0.
That's
It's
it.
all
We doing
good.
good,
That's
right?
all we need.
First round
3-0.
exits.
3-0. Yeah, no, he's a Giants fan, so he.
Oh, he's a Giants
yeah,
fan?
yeah. He watched last night too, so it's all
okay.
good.
You know
It's
what
all
I'm
good.
saying? It's all right. Once they lost Manning, it changed. It changed.
And we haven't been the Cowboys since then.
Listen, I'm
10.
we both hate the
0-11.
Yeah, man.
Right.
We all hate the Cowboys. here.
Cowboys, we out here reminding them. Like,
Forget about Jerry's World. Forget about
yeah,
Jerry's
we don't ride
World.
horses no more, my guy. Yeah.
All right, you guys.
All right, let's go. Let's keep moving. I
Okay,
think
I'm excited. I love these questions.
we got. All right, this is a fun one.
Okay.
Favorite contact you got on your phone from being at the Grammys?
Favorite contact. That's great. Whoo. I don't even know if I can say that one. Favorite contact I have in my phone. That's a really dope one. To be honest with you, this is gonna sound mad corny. People gonna get me in the comments. I don't care. It's gonna sound.
No one's gonna get you in the
but
comments.
His grandfather, Smokey. I say.
Oh, okay.
Because he's a legend. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, no, yeah.
when I was growing up. So like, it's not only is having his number and like him texting me. You know what I mean? It's
for
like
real.
Funny, like I'll just be with somebody that's like, I'm like, oh, what up, Smoke?
Does he always call you on the no call ID?
Yes, because because the house.
Yeah.
The house. I'm like, yo, just call the house. I'm like, call the house. Like,
Yeah.
I got your ringtone is you, my guy.
Yeah, right.
What you mean? You know what I mean? Shout out to Queen Frances as well, 'cause she be on me about it too. Like, did you call twice? Did text first?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think having his number and being able, because I mean
That's great. Well, he's gonna listen in and hear this. So
that's great.
yeah, he's got
because
it.
he's in the conversation with Quincy and Clive.
Yeah,
and,
man.
You know, all these
I
legends.
love all those
right.
dudes,
So
man.
it's like that. It's evidence. It's evidence of success. Because
Right.
to me, like popularity and success is two different things.
Yeah, exactly,
Shout out to
exactly.
the albums.
Yeah.
But having a number of somebody who's done it longer than I've existed on the earth.
Yeah.
Not even existed, it's like has sung music and got, you know what I mean? His
Yeah.
awards are taller than me. 6'5", you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, so being
Right.
able just to text him is dope.
All right, last question. Favorite photo from the Grammys, or favorite photo you've taken with somebody?
I got a lot of really dope ones. I'm gonna tell you one that's terrible. It's a terrible photo, but it was one of the dopest ones with Nas. Me and Nas got a great photo together. It was me, Nas.
His favorite East Coast by far,
Oh,
man, by far,
me,
yeah.
Nas and Hitman.
You know, "World Is Yours" is sampled by Ahmad Jamal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ahmad Jamal is my guy, man.
Yeah. Well, see, I'll make sure I send you the photo so you can like have it pop up.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it go away. Okay. Just helping the editor out. What's up now? I wonder how fast.
No, I appreciate
it. Just gotta make him work for it a little bit. But yeah, it was cool. We was at the
It's fucking
Grammy-
awesome, bro.
Grammy week. We were at the,
It's crazy.
At the Grammy Museum.
That's awesome,
A
man.
lot of fun, man. And it was funny too because it was like during COVID.
Yeah.
So it was like right after COVID. So like everybody still had their mask on and we was just cutting up, man. It was just really really dope to hang out with him.
Well, dude,
Man.
yo, can't thank you enough for being on the show, man. This is a
appreciate it,
huge honor, man.
Oh, hey,
Anytime, man. Anytime we can continue to build our relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
Build a relationship with the day after Saturday now.
Right.
Yeah,
look
man.
Look at how Sunday feel. This is
Yeah, right.
Sunday feel real good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
real
Feel
shit,
like,
real
feel
shit.
Like we in church right now.
Yep.
Without the blasphemy. It's
it was awesome to meet you. I've heard so much from Jackson, so
I hope I lived
even
up to
cooler
that
in
expectation,
person.
man.
You did
It's
for
an
sure,
honor.
for
The
sure.
whole crew, he was sending me pictures of everybody, so I was
Yep.
creeping. I was on Instagram.
Yeah, all right, man.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? All the way back to 2017, I was scrolling. Like somebody stuff real weird. Let's make it weird. Until 3 a.m. and then like it. I like it. They like it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like a mistake.
Hey.
But no, it's been an honor. The campus is dope. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Anytime, man. Yeah, it's our honor, man. It's our honor.
We
Yeah.
locked in too, man. And,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to make sure I say this. This is absolutely a plug. Where's the camera at right here?
Right there.
Look
Phone.
straight at the camera. Let me put my hat. Let me get serious for a second.
Fuck you.
Go Pirates. Go
I just
Pirates.
gotta put it from where so they see the Pirates one, so they understand. What so by the time the haters see this, I'll be back home. Plus my assistant is Lethal Weapon. She is low-key an assassin. Also aka Dance Mom. I am here because I'm working with Frontier and the Pittsburgh Airport and the Philadelphia Airport, just to promote these amazing flights that Frontier has, super cheap flights, which is great. So I love the opportunity that they got me here. They brought me here to the college, to the campus, to be able to sit down with you guys. So if you're watching this and you got a problem with anything I said and you want beef, for one, I'm a big dude. I'm about 230, just to let you know, and for days. Okay? But if you have a problem and you want to see me, make sure you check out Frontier. Get them cheap flights. Just fly on over. You know what I mean? It's really cheap. I'll meet you at the airport. Will security get you before you get to me? Probably. But at least you're gonna try. You know what I mean? That's a promo right there. I'm gonna put the
All right.
Fly Pittsburgh.
Shout out Pittsburgh International
Right
Airport.
there you go.
Yep,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yep.
All right.
The tickets are even cheaper the day after Saturday. Ooh.
Oh. All right. Stay tuned for more coverage. We appreciate you guys. Peace.
Peace out, y'all.